Hey everybody, this is Bishop E.W. Jackson. Hope you all are doing well. I'm sitting out on a lake not too far from my home, enjoying myself and thinking about the Lord. And this is a place I like to come and pray and meditate, thinking about our country, thinking about what is going on right now. And I wanted to take a moment to tell you all that on Monday, May the 20th, at 10 a.m. at the National Press Club, I'm hosting a press conference entitled Exposing the Democrats' Ties to Marxism, Socialism, and Communism. Folks, I believe our country is under siege right now. Bernie Sanders, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Pete Buttigieg, and a host of others who are fully embracing a Marxist approach to our country. And folks, you all have heard me say it if you've heard me speak. When I stood up and took an oath to the Constitution of the United States as a Marine, I made that oath with my heart fully committed to it. And that oath never had an expiration date. And I really believe that we've got people operating in our country now who could care less about the Constitution. I think they're using the word Constitution to attack this president, to try to overthrow him, undermine him. And 65 million people like me who voted for him and pray for him and support him and believe that he's doing a tremendous job for this country are really being trampled on. Our rights are being trampled. We're being told that our vote doesn't matter because we're too stupid to know who should be president of the United States. We're told that we elected an idiot and we're idiots for having voted for him. And one guy even tweeted and said that we are pieces of you-know-what, and I won't repeat what he said, and that we don't deserve respect for having voted for him. These folks are not constitutionalists. They're not Americans in the classic sense of the word. Now, I know that they're American citizens. I'm not saying they're not, but they don't love our country. They don't honor and respect our Constitution and its institutions. They simply don't, and they don't respect the vote when it doesn't go their way. And so they're really seeking to undermine it. And what vision do they have for the country? Well, you're seeing that with the Green New Deal. That is a major government takeover of every dimension of human life in this nation. These people are totalitarianists, folks. They want total control over you and me, our speech, our actions, and our thoughts. Well, just like I took that oath in August of 1970, that oath is still good as far as I'm concerned. And I say not on our watch. We are not turning our country over to a bunch of socialists and Marxists and communists like Bernie Sanders. And by the way, folks, can I just say for the record, and I know this may not get me interviews on major media, but it's important to say, Bernie Sanders is a communist. He's a communist, folks. I mean, he's had a love affair with communism for years now. He was in love with the Soviet Union. He visited the Soviet Union, came back and bragged about how great it was. He was in love with Fidel Castro and communist Cuba and talked about the wonderful things that they were doing. These people murdered their own folks by the thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and in the Soviet Union's case, millions. They locked people up in gulags. Fidel Castro closed up churches, arrested pastors, put people in prison for daring to disagree with the communist vision for Cuba. And Bernie Sanders thinks these people are just wonderful. This is what he wants for our country. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is the same. These people don't respect our nation. They don't respect our Constitution. They don't respect our institutions. They want power. And what did she famously say? I'm the boss. Since nobody else is going to do anything, I'm the boss. Well, somebody needs to tell her Americans don't need a boss. That these politicians, we don't work for them. They work for us. They've got this completely twisted. So, folks, if you are going to be anywhere near D.C., or you live anywhere near and you want to come, the people joining me on May the 20th that's Monday, May the 20th, at the National Press Club, are such luminaries as Jerome Corsi, who was being investigated by the special counsel, was never indicted because there was no evidence. Once again, they were trying to concoct a case, tried to get the man to plead guilty to nothing. He refused, and guess what? No indictment, no evidence. That tells you all you need to know. Trevor Loudon, who's written 2 books and done films on the infiltration of our nation by communists. Diana West, who's just written a new book called The Red Thread, in which she traces communist influences and people who have been involved with the Communist Party and are still very much active in our politics today. And we're going to also have Bob Knight. Bob Knight is a journalist who is very concerned about the erosion of our First Amendment rights. He's seen this close up and personal, how freedom of speech is almost being outlawed in America. You can't say what you want to say. I've been suspended from Twitter, for example, for nothing, basically. Nothing. Because they claimed I threatened people and I promoted violence. And you all who follow me know I would never promote violence. I would never threaten anyone. I go after ideas. I don't go after people personally. I go after ideas. And I'm going after Bernie Sanders, Ocasio-Cortez, Pete Buttigieg, and these presidential candidates because of their ideas. I don't hate them as individuals, but I do hate their ideas with a passion. And we're going to defeat their ideas. And we're going to have people there who you are really going to want to hear from. And I've just given you a small dose of the folks who are going to be there with me, standing with me, to say we're not going to be a socialist nation. We're not going to be a communist nation. We're not going to be a Marxist nation. We are a constitutional republic. We are a nation of personal, individual liberty, and we're going to protect that with every fiber of our being. And I mean with ideas, not like these Antifa people who want to commit violence against people. We're going to defend ourselves with good ideas. And I believe when the American people really understand the violent lurch to the left of the Democrat Party and the degree to which this party has become Marxist and socialist and communist in their thinking, I think the American people are going to turn away from them in droves, folks, in droves. We must reelect President Donald Trump. I don't care what they say about him. This man loves this country. He loves us, his fellow citizens, and he's fighting every single day to make this nation a better nation and to make our lives better. So I don't care what they say about him. They can call him a racist all day long. He's not a racist. I tell you who's a racist. These leftists who look down their noses at black people who won't toe their liberal leftist line. They're the racists because they think they ought to be able to dictate to me and Candace Owens and Alan West and others what we should say, what we should think, how we should behave. They basically have told us in so many words, stay in your place, black people. Stay in your place. And we've told you what your place is. We'll define that for you, and don't you get out of it. Well, you know what? There's a lake right behind me. They can jump in it. They can jump right in it. And if they can swim, great. If they can't, I'd probably throw them a lifeline and hope by the time I got them to shore, they'd be convinced to think differently than they do now. But no, we are not buying into their nonsense, and we're not going to allow this country to go in the socialist, Marxist, communist direction that these people want to lead us. And so, folks, if you're around, come on up. We are going to do a live stream for it, but we'd love to have you there. We've got a room set up at the National Press Club. Here again, that's May 20th. That's at 10 a.m. at the National Press Club. You can look that up. And if you're on my email list, you'll get a communication from us if you haven't already. But there will be some others coming out. RSVP, please, so that we know how many are going to show up and make sure that we have enough room to accommodate everybody. But look, folks, look, it's on. It's on. When the Democrat Party has finally got leading candidates who are openly declaring that they are socialists, he doesn't want to call himself a communist, but that's what he really is, Bernie Sanders. Then, you know, the fight is on. It is on. And our ideas are superior to their ideas. Our moral values are superior to theirs because, frankly, they don't have any. I think it was Chris Plant who said if the Democrats didn't have double standards, they'd have no standards at all. And they don't. They have no standards at all. Anything goes for these people. And no, we're not going to have it. We are a Judeo-Christian nation. We are a constitutional republic. We are rooted and grounded and founded on faith in God. We are a Christian culture. I'm not talking about having an official religion. In fact, I told them we don't want a theocracy, but they want a homocracy, and now apparently they want a socialistocracy or a communistocracy. Anything but the constitutional republic that they've got is what they want. That we've got is what they want. Anything but that. They just never get enough of denigrating our nation. John Kerry running around overseas, denigrating America and denigrating the president. What an idiot, folks. What an idiot. The man doesn't have the sense God gave a gnat. You ought to at least have enough respect for your own country, not to go to some foreign country and criticize your own nation. What's wrong with him? And what's wrong with all these Democrats? I didn't mean to get into this, but look, and you black Christians out there, you need to quit. You need to quit supporting these people who are pushing transgenderism and homosexuality, and socialism and communism are atheistic. They don't believe in God. They think God's in the way. They think Bernie Sanders told Russell Vaught that his belief that Jesus Christ is the only way of salvation is un-American. Yeah, and didn't want to have him appointed to the Office of Management and Budget because he wrote a letter to a Christian school about their faith in Jesus Christ as the only way of salvation. Now, you know, people like that we don't need in power because they hate God, they hate Christianity, they hate the Bible, and they hate Christians. And we don't hate anybody. We want everybody to be free to worship as they see fit. We'll try to persuade people, but we don't want to use the heavy hand of government to try to pound on people and persecute people and vilify people and excoriate people as he did sitting in a United States Senate seat because a man happened to have faith in Jesus Christ. Now, you know, that is so contrary to everything America's about that it is difficult to express fully in words. But I know one thing. In the name of Jesus, he will never be president of the United States. Neither will Pete Buttigieg. And as far as I'm concerned, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez needs to be defeated in the next election and needs to be sent back to the bar. Well, maybe she should find something better to do than that. But go back to doing something. She can be a waitress, maybe, okay? She doesn't have to be a bartender. She can be a waitress. But she needs to go back to doing something that she is suitable for, because sitting in the United States Congress is not something that she is suitable for, because she might as well call herself a communist too, given the policies that she's putting forth. Now, they're not card-carrying members of the Communist Party, I know that, but I'm thinking their hearts and minds are informed by Karl Marx and Antonio Gramsci and Saul Alinsky, not by Thomas Jefferson, not by Patrick Henry, not by James Madison, not by James Monroe, not by the thinkers that helped to found this great nation of ours. They don't care about them. They dismiss them. Oh, they were slaveholders. They were brilliant and inspired and flawed like the rest of us are. But they gave to this nation and the world one of the greatest gifts any people's ever given. Any people's ever been given. Freedom. Freedom. The rule of law. And yes, we've made mistakes as a nation. Yes, we're not perfect as a nation. But I'll tell you what, all these people who can't see anything, Pete Buttigieg said America was never that great, just like Andrew Cuomo. Well, you know what? I invite them to leave. I really do, folks. I wish they would find a country that they respect and can honor and can love. Go live there and get out of the United States of America and leave it to those of us who love this country. Yeah, we love it enough to correct it and to criticize it. But we love it. We don't hate our country. We don't denigrate. We don't downgrade our country. We fight to change things that we think are wrong, but we don't disrespect our country by spitting on the flag and burning the flag and kneeling in front of the flag and refusing to stand up for the national anthem. We don't do things like that, because those are symbols that should unite every single one of us, no matter where we are on the political spectrum. And they want to destroy those symbols because, frankly, in my view, they're interested in destroying this country and then fundamentally transforming it into something that is more akin to what Karl Marx had in mind, than to what Thomas Jefferson had in mind and George Washington had in mind and our founding fathers had in mind. So look, folks, I've talked longer than I expected to. I just thought sitting out here on the lake, it'd be nice to invite you all to our press conference and to let you know what's on my mind. But you probably found out there's a lot more on my mind than probably most of you expected to hear. But there it is. Well, look, God bless you all. I've got to walk through the woods in order to get back to my automobile, and it's getting a little late, so I'm going to do that. But you all pray for our country, pray for our president, pray for me, pray for all of those who are on the front lines of this battle. We are not going to quit. They can do everything in their power to silence us, but we will not be silenced, and I believe this with all my heart. We cannot be defeated if we will not quit, because we are on God's side. God bless you all. Talk to you again soon. Come to the press conference Monday, May 20th, 10 a.m., National Press Club. God bless.